Hi, welcome back yet again to the Missouri 2018 Ballot Primer. I am still D, and last time we broke down Amendment 2. This time we're going to tackle Amendment 3.
The other one with weed on it.
Yeah, Amendment 3 is a lot like Amendment 2, but it does differ in a few very key ways, and rather than break down the entire amendment, I'm going to give you the differences between it and Amendment 2 and see how it fares. Shall the Missouri Constitution be amended to allow the use of marijuana for medical purposes and create regulations and licensing procedures for marijuana and marijuana facilities, impose a 15% tax on the retail sale of marijuana and a tax on the wholesale sale of marijuana flowers and leaves per dry weight ounce to licensed facilities, and use funds from these taxes to establish and fund a state research institute to conduct research with the purpose of developing cures and treatments for cancer and other incurable diseases or medical conditions. So Amendment 3 wants to legalize marijuana strictly for medical purposes, just like Amendment 2 does. Amendment 3, however, would institute a 15% sales tax on marijuana as opposed to 4%. The revenue generated from the sales tax would create a Biomedical Research and Drug Development Institute, or BRDDI. 50% of the tax revenue would fund the BRDDI. And the other 50% would go toward, among other things, paying the people that are on the board of the BRDDI, if I understand the text of the bill properly. This BRDDI would be devoted to researching cures for cancer. Unlike Amendment 2, the BRDDI would approve conditions that are suitable for marijuana therapy rather than state-licensed physicians. Cancer cures or treatments, at least in part created by the BRDDI, would be available to state residents at no cost. And another key difference would be that Amendment 3 doesn't allow for personal growth or cultivation of marijuana. This is a really noble idea, and I respect it a lot. I love the idea of taking our destiny and putting it into our hands, funding our own cure for cancer. I just don't like some of the details that are associated with Amendment 3. For one thing, I don't like that 15% sales tax. It's not that it seems high, it's that it seems high for medical weed. If it were recreational, 15%, no problem. But people are sick, and they're going to be squeezed already for any kind of hospital bills that they accrue, and insurance isn't going to cover this, especially since doctors don't write prescriptions, they write recommendations for marijuana. So that's all going to come out of the patient's pocket, and they're already poor. Now, Amendment 3 doesn't allow them to grow their own weed, so they have to pay out of pocket for every bit of marijuana therapy that they undergo. For another thing, I'm not exactly clear on where that other 50% of the generated tax revenue goes. I believe some of it does go toward the board of directors, but I'm not sure where else it's supposed to go. Obviously, an oversight committee, licensure and certification of grow houses and dispensaries, but there's probably going to be quite a bit left over. Where's it at? And now I'm going to come to the problem that most people have with this. It's Brad Bradshaw. Now, I don't mean any disrespect to the man. I don't know if this was genuine concern for cancer cures, as he tells people, or if it's just some guy trying to get rich off being a marijuana czar, as some people claim. But you've probably seen these commercials.
Amendment 3, the quote Bradshaw Amendment, is the wrong choice for medical marijuana.
It's funded by an individual attorney and creates a research institute that only he chair.
It puts a 15% tax on medical marijuana.
The highest medical marijuana tax in the nation. Vote no on Amendment 3.
And those commercials bother me because they're not honest. It says,
It creates a research institute that only he chair.
Right there. That's it. That's the lie. Let me break it down for you. Number one, Brad Bradshaw would not be the chair. The official position title is coordinator. Now, that's not my problem, but still. Number two, coordinator is an unpaid position, according to the text of the amendment. And that's important because number three, while Brad Bradshaw is not the only person that the text dictates could be the coordinator, it does dictate that the coordinator have both a PhD and a law degree. And I don't know that many doctors/lawyers, let alone that many who would be willing to take on all the responsibilities of coordinating a research institute like the BRDDI for free. Now, my problem with that ad isn't that they've got the wrong idea, it's just that the facts are enough. You don't need to lie. But anyway, they do make some good points. He's not the only person who could be the coordinator, but he might as well be. And lastly, I don't like that physicians aren't able to decide when marijuana therapy would be appropriate for their patients. Now, I know that the person coordinating the BRDDI who would dictate what conditions could benefit from marijuana therapy would be a doctor, but they wouldn't be my doctor. or your doctor, or your grandmother's doctor. They wouldn't know us like our physicians do. With all that being said, here are the drawbacks of Amendment 3. The lack of permission to grow your own marijuana makes treatment more expensive. The approval of marijuana for your personal treatment is taken away from your doctor and left up to a panel of people who don't know you. The BRDDI is not a nonprofit and is able to join public-private collaborative ventures. The condition that the position of coordinator be held by somebody who's both a lawyer and a doctor makes replacing Mr. Bradshaw needlessly difficult, and the structure of both the bill and of the BRDDI is susceptible to corruption. Ultimately, I don't know Mr. Bradshaw, so I couldn't guess what's in his heart. I do think that if he's being genuine, what he's trying to do is really cool, and I would be all for it if we didn't already have Amendment 2 on the ballot. But that last drawback does need to be addressed. While the position of coordinator is not paid, there are workarounds for that. Let's say, for example, you work for a pharmaceutical company that has a serious pain medication that's about to come out on the market. OxyContin 15.7. Now, you want to make sure that that medication is what people are getting to treat ailment X. So you might give a lot of money to the people on the panel or the coordinator themselves in order to make sure that marijuana is not approved for ailment X. See how that works? I was originally going to suggest that you vote yes on both of these and shove it down the throats of the conservatives and make them decide which bitter pill they would like to take, but after doing some research, this just seems way too iffy, and I would rather not gamble people's lives and health and the future of marijuana in our society on somebody hopefully maybe staying honest. So, I've got to say, go ahead and vote no on this one. So that's my recommendation. Yes on Amendment 2, no on Amendment 3. That's it for now. Check in next time for Amendment 4, and what a winner that is. Big kiss, goodbye.